At 3:12 a.m., every phone, television, and radio in the city turned on at the exact same time. No one touched them. No one knew who sent the message, but everyone heard it. A woman's voice came through the static, calm at first, then shaking. If you are hearing this, do not look outside. Ethan Cole woke up on his couch with the television lighting up the room. The screen was black except for a red emergency alert banner at the top. There was no weather warning, no government seal, no explanation, just static, and the voice. Lock your doors. Turn off all lights. Stay away from windows. Do not respond to anyone calling your name. Ethan sat up slowly. His apartment was dark. Outside his window, the city was silent. Too silent. No cars. No sirens. No late-night voices from the sidewalk below. Just the television. Then the message repeated. Do not respond to anyone calling your name. Ethan reached for the remote. Before he could turn the TV off, the voice changed. It became lower. Closer. Ethan. His hand froze. The television static pulsed once. Then the voice said again. Ethan Cole. He stopped breathing. That was his full name. His phone buzzed on the coffee table. Then again. Then again. Messages started filling the screen. From coworkers, neighbors, people he had not spoken to in years. Are you hearing this? My TV just turned on. It said my name. Do not open your door. Then one message came from his sister Claire. Ethan. Do not answer if Dad calls you. Ethan stared at the screen. Their father had been dead for 6 years. Before he could type back, something knocked on his apartment door. 3 slow knocks. Ethan turned toward the sound. The television went quiet. The knocking came again. 3 times. Then a voice spoke from the hallway. Ethan? He knew that voice. He had heard it in old home videos. In birthday cards. In voicemails he couldn't bring himself to delete. It was his father. Ethan, open the door. Ethan stepped backward. His phone buzzed again. Claire, do not open it. The voice outside softened. Son, please. I need you to let me in. Ethan's eyes burned. He wanted it to be impossible. But grief does something strange when it hears a familiar voice. For 1 second, the warning didn't matter. The years didn't matter. The door was only 15 feet away. The television crackled back to life. The woman's voice was different now, panicked. Do not approach the door. Ethan looked at the screen. The static shifted. For a moment, he thought he saw shapes inside it. Faces, dozens of them. All looking forward. Then the voice said, They are not who they sound like. The hallway outside went silent. Ethan backed into the kitchen and grabbed a knife from the drawer. He felt ridiculous holding it. Then the voice outside changed. It was not his father anymore. It was Claire. Ethan, open the door. Something's wrong. His phone was still in his hand. He looked down. A new message from Claire appeared. That is not me. I am in my apartment. Ethan turned off every light. The television stayed on. The apartment sank into blue static glow. The voice outside whispered again. Ethan, I'm scared. He moved slowly toward the peephole. The broadcast screamed. Not a sound. A word. Large white letters flashed across the TV screen. Do not look. Ethan stopped inches from the door. On the other side, something breathed. Not heavily, patiently. Like it could wait all night. Then, from somewhere above him, another sound began. A neighbor screaming. It lasted 3 seconds. Then stopped. Ethan's phone buzzed again. A message from apartment 6B. I opened the door. Then another. It looked like my mother. Then nothing. The knocking moved down the hallway. 1 door. Then another. Then another. Each time, a voice called someone's name. Different voices, different names. Sometimes begging. Sometimes angry. Sometimes crying. The television continued. If you have opened your door, do not return inside. Ethan stared at the screen. That made no sense. Why would someone who opened the door not return inside? Then he heard footsteps in the hallway. Many footsteps, moving together. Slowly, past his door, then stopping. The TV screen changed. The emergency banner disappeared. For the first time, an image appeared. A hallway. His hallway. From the angle of a security camera, Ethan saw his own apartment door. Closed, and outside it stood 6 people. They were facing the door, perfectly still. One looked like his father. One looked like Claire. One looked like an elderly woman he did not know. The others stood in shadow. Then every face turned toward the camera at once. The broadcast cut to black. Ethan covered his mouth to stop himself from making a sound. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text appeared. You already looked. Ethan dropped the phone. The knocking began again. This time it was soft, almost polite. His father's voice returned. You were always afraid to say goodbye. Ethan shut his eyes. Don't, he whispered. Outside, the thing kept speaking. You kept my voicemail. Ethan opened his eyes. You play it when you think no one can hear. He looked toward his phone. That was true. You still blame yourself for not answering my last call? Ethan's grip tightened around the knife. The voice outside became gentle. I'm not angry. The lock clicked. Ethan froze. The deadbolt had turned by itself. The chain lock snapped tight before the door could open fully. A thin line of hallway light entered the room. Ethan saw fingers curl around the edge of the door. Too long, too pale. The television screamed again. Do not let them see you. Ethan dropped to the floor behind the couch. The door pressed against the chain. Once? Twice? Then stopped. Through the small opening, his father's voice whispered, I can hear you breathing. Ethan held his breath. The apartment went silent. 10 seconds. 20. 30. Then the door closed. The lock clicked back into place. The hallway lights flickered off. Ethan stayed on the floor until his lungs burned. Then his phone buzzed. Claire again. Ethan, are you alive? He grabbed it, typed with shaking hands. Yes. Don't open your door. Her reply came immediately. I didn't. But I looked through the peephole. Ethan felt his stomach drop. Another message followed. It looked like you. The television changed again. The woman's voice returned. Very quiet now. If you have seen a familiar face, do not trust memory. Ethan looked at the screen. The static formed an image again. Not the hallway this time, a street. An empty city street. All the apartment buildings were dark, but in every window, someone was standing, watching. Then the broadcast showed a list of names. The list scrolled fast. Hundreds of them, thousands. Ethan saw names he recognized. Neighbors. Co-workers. Claire. Then his own. Beside each name was a status. Door closed. Door opened. Seen. Answered. Taken. Beside Ethan's name were 2 words. Partially seen. The TV cut back to static. A new instruction appeared. Survive until 3:33 a.m. Ethan looked at the microwave clock. 3:28. 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes. Then every phone in the apartment began ringing. His cell, an old landline he never used. Even the intercom by the door. All at once, different voices came through them. His father, Claire, his mother, his own voice. Pick up. Answer me. Look outside. Let us know you're there. The room filled with voices. Ethan covered his ears. The television flashed, do not respond. The intercom clicked on by itself. Child's voice whispered, Apartment 4C opened. Then a door slammed somewhere below. Then footsteps. Running? Screaming. Then silence. 3:31. Ethan crawled into the hallway closet and pulled the door almost shut. The apartment door handle turned again. Slowly. This time, no knocking. No voice. Just the handle turning back and forth. Then something tapped the window. Ethan lived on the 7th floor. He turned his head. A shape stood outside the glass. Pressed against the window, wearing Claire's face. Her eyes searched the room, not blinking. The TV voice came from the living room. 1 minute remaining. The shape at the window smiled. Then it raised one finger to its lips, as if telling him to be quiet. The closet door creaked. Ethan looked down. His phone screen lit up in his lap. A video call. From Claire. He almost rejected it. Then a text appeared beneath it. It's really me. I know what is outside your window. Don't move. The call connected by itself. Claire's face appeared. She was hiding somewhere dark, crying silently. Behind her, something knocked on her door. Ethan whispered, Claire. Her eyes widened. On the television in the living room, the emergency voice screamed, You responded? The apartment went completely silent. The thing outside the window turned, slowly. Toward the closet, 3:33 a.m. Every screen in the apartment shut off. The ringing stopped. The figure at the window disappeared. The door handle went still. For one long minute, Ethan didn't move. Then the city came back. A car passed outside, a siren wailed far away. Someone upstairs started crying. Ethan crawled out of the closet and ran to the front door. The hallway was empty. Every apartment door was open. Every single one. Except his. On the wall across from his door, someone had written in black letters, "We almost answered." Ethan called Claire. No answer. He ran down 7 flights of stairs and drove across the city faster than he had ever driven. When he reached her building, police cars were already outside. People stood in the street in pajamas, wrapped in blankets, staring upward. Ethan pushed through them. Claire's apartment door was closed. That gave him hope, until he saw the writing on it. Not in black. In red. She responded. No one found Claire that night. Not in the apartment. Not in the building. Not anywhere in the city. By morning, every news station called it a coordinated emergency broadcast malfunction, a technical error, a signal intrusion, a hoax. But Ethan knew better. Because 3 days later, his phone buzzed at 3:12 a.m. One new voicemail. From Claire? He didn't want to listen, but he did. For 10 seconds, there was only static. Then Claire whispered, "Ethan, next time it happens." A pause. Then her voice changed, became calm. Too calm. Open the door. Ethan dropped the phone. Across the room, the television turned on by itself. The screen filled with static, and the emergency broadcast began again. Only this time, the woman's voice said, "This warning is for Ethan Cole only." Then someone knocked on the door. 3 slow knocks.